my lord. Oh my lord. As we are about to go live, as we are literally sitting here live, I'm sitting here prepping stream, and we hit 200 subs. Oh my gosh. We've hit 200 subs, everyone. That's insane. Ah, they took it back. Fair enough, fair enough. No, they took it back. They took it back. Never mind. We did not hit 200 subs. Well, it's saying on my thing, but hey. Hi, everyone. Let's move over. Hi, welcome to stream. Welcome to our new friend who has joined us today. Welcome to a Seduce Me stream. We are here. I'm turning the music off on my end. I can't think straight. Hi. For those of you who are new, my name is Kyori Yoshia, but you can call me Kita. I am an indie VTuber. Why can't I hear myself? You know what? Who cares? I don't care. I am an indie VTuber here on YouTube. I need proof. Okay, fair enough. I give you, that is completely fair. That is completely fair. But welcome to stream. I am Kyori Yoshia. You can call me Kita. And I am an indie VTuber here on YouTube that mainly streams games and is trying to make more videos. I'm doing my best. I am also known as Kayak because I am just but a boat. I am but a boat. And I can't read, but I play a lot of Otomes. And I also don't know how to play video games. That's another big thing about my channel. I don't know how to play video games. But yes, welcome to a Seduce Me stream. If you don't know what Seduce Me is, that is okay. Most people who come into this channel don't know what Seduce Me is. But it's a very fun game. One that I grew up playing. It is a very fun Otome. And we're going to be going through Andrew's route today. Andrew is a... you might recognize his voice if you know Fire Emblem. He's the voice of Male Byleth. So... you may recognize him. Kayak seems like a fun name. Yep. It came from my own dyslexia, so enjoy it. But yeah, have a wonderful night, Emmy. Don't worry about it. Have a wonderful night. But yes, instead of like talking about it, it's best we just show you. I have been getting things set up on my end, so let us get into the game instead of me just... Oh my gosh, why is it like that? Not again. No, not again. All right. Let me just fix the screen real quick and then we'll hop in. All right, I think that's good. We'll see. All right, Male Byleth, my love. Yes, yes. All right, let us go ahead and head straight into the game. Let me just turn that off on my end. It should be this one. All right, let's do this. All right. For our lovely new friend here, I am going to be skipping over a lot of the main plot, just because I've played this already. The routes are pretty similar from story to story. If you're interested in knowing the full common story, I recommend, I have a playlist in the description. Damien's route is the first one we went through. I go through the entire plot of the common route. I recommend going to look at that. But this time around, I'm gonna skip things. I'm gonna skip a few things because like I've played this a lot. But I did to our point where we are sat at the choice of Male Byleth. Who's Emmy? Emmy is Emira, our lovely little friend. Emira. Where is Emmy? Yeah, Emmy is Emira. Emmy is, we call her Emmy for short.
Honey, I'd like to introduce you to someone.
Please let me know if game audio is...
This gentleman is the son of the vice chairman.
Please let me know if it, at any point the stream's a little quiet or anything. I've been messing around with settings, so I apologize. All right. With my mother stood a man who looked only a couple years older than me. He smiled and held out his hand to me, silently asking for my hand.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lewis. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Anderson.
There's Male Byleth. There he is, folks. As I placed my hand in his, he raised it to his lips and kissed over my knuckles. I felt my face burn slightly at the gesture. Andrew smiled at me before releasing my hand.
I'm honored to be invited here.
My mother smiled at both of us, which made me slightly concerned. Why was she excited to introduce me to Andrew?
So, you organized this party very well, Miss Anderson.
Oh, hello, Mary. Welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Praise is very much deserved.
We are confusing our new chatter. Sorry. You have to understand, I'm a very small streamer, so most of the people in my chat room have known each other for a while. I apologize if you are confused. Andrew then chuckled nervously, bringing a soft fist to his lips to cover his laugh, but properly before smiling at me.
I'm sorry if I seem a little forward. I've just been excited to meet Harold Anderson's granddaughter.
Here's Male Byleth. How can you hear him? He doesn't talk. But he barely talks. He has battle quotes and that's about it. How can you hear him? Huh? Why?
He used to talk about you all the time in the office on how you helped him refine his toys. I only attended meetings and heard all of the stories. You've helped a lot with the success of the company without having to actually work there.
Yes, they are practically family at this point. They are all little stars. Makes no sense. That's fair. You know what? Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't need to make sense. All you need to know is you're new and everyone else already knows each other. I can't help but hear Aether myself. I can hear Aether. I can definitely hear Aether. Andrew looks like he'd be a wonderful professor. Oh, Fire Emblem Heroes. I don't play that game, so I wouldn't know, Prophet. Oh, wow. I didn't know he talked about me. That would explain everyone's fascination with me and their rather personal questions. I looked at Andrew, who had a kind face to me. Something about him seemed off, and I didn't know what it was. He seemed to be hiding something. Whether it was good or bad, I was not able to find out. Oh, it's him. Ugh. No. Is Andrew finding lost items? Ooh, a lost item. Yes, that's clearly what he's doing. I felt someone walk up beside me, causing me to turn to them. Next to me was my dad, giving his cold stare to Andrew, who suddenly became tense.
So, you're Jared's son.
Ugh, can he not? Andrew's body twitched slightly. Whether it was fear or insult, Andrew locked eyes with my father. I couldn't help but feel the tension between them. It irked me how fragile the Fraggle, like a Fraggle Rock. I love Fraggle Rock. It is. Is this early game? Yes, we haven't even gotten onto the route yet. You're good. You're good. The air had become enough to break at the wrong word.
You're the one who wants to be the next CEO of the Anderson Company.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Fuck off, sir.
Well...
I stared at Andrew. This guy wanted to take my grandfather's place as CEO? I thought the vice chairman wanted the position.
David, leave the poor boy alone.
Is the... Yeah, the... For me.
I'm merely testing the boy's conversational skills. Nothing wrong with that.
Of course not, sir.
Oh my god, can he not? Leave the poor boy alone.
And polite as well. Interesting.
Screw off, sir!
If you'll excuse me.
Quickly, Andrew retreated away from my family into the crowd of people. Bye! Holy smokes, what's a throwback? Also, my back. Oh my goodness, hello, new friend! Welcome! Oh, seem happy. I subbed. Maybe I should. Hello, welcome! Don't feel pressured to sub if you don't want to. Like, my channel's here for people who want to be here. You don't have to feel pressured to, like, join something if you're not into it. The last thing I want you to do is like join my channel and then find out, oh, I actually don't like what she does on her channel. That's completely fair. Don't feel like you have to sub. It's there if you wanna. But welcome, new friend, Miss Aria. Welcome. I do not know your pronouns. If you could tell me your pronouns in chat, that'd be great. I do not know your pronouns. But welcome. Welcome to Seduce Me. We're playing through Andrew's route, and then we've got Sam's next week, probably. Not this week. I have no... it depends how long Andrew's takes to do. It all depends. I quickly followed Andrew, wanting to be sure he was all right. I felt a little embarrassed that my dad put him on the spot like that. I had to apologize. All right, have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye. Fresh. 200 already subbed. Holy crap. Oh, yo, thank you. Welcome to the channel. We're so absolutely excited to have you here. We hope you enjoy everything I have to offer. We wound up outside. The stars practically danced on the grass as we stood in the backyard of the mansion. It had been my first time in years being out there, but my thoughts weren't on the nostalgia. 202. What? Hold on. Let me check. Because sometimes things are weird. Let's find out. Hey, let's go. Yay, we're back at 200. Let's go. Look at that! Woo! Meaning that I've got a 200 special to plan, and I've got games to order. God damn it. Okay, good to know. I've got games to order. Yay! Yay! Hold on, let me see if I can fix that really quickly. Because we're at... Oh no, we're actually at 201. Look at that. That's so exciting, y'all. That is so exciting. Heck yeah. Be proud. Look at my stars my stars. My little galaxy is growing ever bigger. Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. It's really cool to see how far we've come. It's really cool. Hey, Andrew? So don't yell at me for not sleeping. Emmy, go to bed. Go to bed. Andrew turned to me in surprise. However, his face was completely red in both embarrassment and humiliation. I felt terrible. Aw, thank you for the hearts. Thank you. Y'all are too cute. Y'all are so cute.
Oh, I didn't see you or hear you following. Sorry.
No, you're good. Boy, you're good. No, it's fine. I should be the one to apologize.
What for? You didn't do anything wrong.
Knees cracking. Yes, Damien lover, thank you. Thank you. Welcome here. I am a simp. I am a simp for the boy. I am a simp for the boy. I love him so much. Love Damien. Jonah Scott. His voice. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh man. I know you like being here, but sleep is important. I plan to play through the side episodes. I'm actually recording them to have them as actual videos. I'm not gonna do them live. I did Damien's proposal live. I did do that one. But I'm gonna re-record it because there was some glitching on that stream for that day. So they will be recorded. In fact, I'm working on one right now. I was working on one before stream. Will it work? Well, oh, that's so sweet. Yes, Prophet joined me for Matthews too, so you can hear them in that one. So that's fun. I mean, for the way my dad behaved, he shouldn't have been so...
Oh no, it's fine. I mean, I should have expected it and been more prepared.
Andrew rubbed the back of his neck and gave a goofy grin. It was intriguing, seeing Andrew's professional side and then seeing a goofy smile away from everyone. Still, I'm sorry for that.
It's not a problem really, but thank you.
Yeah, we got some lovely Matthew lovers. Yep. Not the biggest fan of James. Not James's fault. Okay, don't get me wrong. I don't mind the character. I love the voice actor. I just have a personal vendetta because it reminds me of how stupid I am whenever I play as route. So that's my fault. My vendetta against him is purely my own fault. Nothing against the voice actor, nothing against the writing, nothing against the character. We both smiled at each other before I reached my hand out to him. He tilted his head and raised an eyebrow in confusion. You got to simp this much, but maybe it's 'cause I'm a boy. Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with being a simp. Kita. My name is Kita. And understanding, his smile returned before he took my hand gently and shook it.
That's a pretty name. I'm happy to know it now.
Nah, it's not that nice.
I have to disagree with you. It's much better than Andrew. I mean, who names their kid Andrew?
A lot of people do.
But how about Axel or Ace? Something cool like that.
How about Aether or Byleth? Those work too. Those also work. They're great names. Yes, Prophet, I'm aware. I know. I'm an Eric princess. Nothing wrong. Yes, Princess Grass is an Eric princess. This is correct. We've dubbed thee. Hell yeah. We respect all forms of admiration. As long as it's done so respectfully, then it's fine. I couldn't help but laugh at him. He was pretty chill for a guy who was supposed to be a vice chairman's son. He grinned and laughed along with me. I don't know why, but I felt warm. Whether it was the almost non-existent breeze or the situation we found ourselves in, it felt nice.
Lewis.
Harris. Eric's princess for puns. Oh, God. No, not again. I'm having flashbacks. And just like that, the feeling had vanished. We both turned to see my dad at the doors of the mansion, staring at Andrew with almost a deadly glare. Andrew straightened up, trying to maintain a business posture.
Yes, sir?
Your limo is in the front. The driver has requested that you return home. Now.
My God, can this dude chill?
Oh, all right. Thank you, sir.
Guys, I mean, in a way, I don't find these... Boy. Fair. That's okay. Simping royal. Oh, God! No! Andrew quickly nodded to me before speeding back into the mansion to leave. I'm ignoring chat now. As I took a step to follow, my dad stepped in front of me. Dad?
I don't want to hear it. Do not become friendly with him. He wants to take the company away from us. You have no reason to be friends with him.
Leave me alone, sir. Before I could retort, my dad turned away and walked back inside, muttering about how the party was nearing an end. I sighed and entered the house as well, wanting for the party to end immediately. Eventually, only Suzu, Naomi, my parents, and the incubi were left. My dad suddenly walked over and placed a hand on my shoulder with a smile. I stared up at him. A wave of confusion. I know what this is, and we're skipping over it. Can't say because I'm at work, but woo, 200 subs for gaming. Always have fun, losers. Oh, gosh. And Nerd has made their presence known. Bye, Nerd. All right, fuck off. Dork. We're skipping over this. I ain't doing this shit again. Let us go. You know what? Let's explore the house. I decided it was a good idea to wander around the house. I never really explored it much as a child, so there were bound to be new surprises. More roots and endings than a second. Anyway. Well, come on. Let's get on an adventure. I stood and exited my room, hoping that the boys were still asleep. I began to wander the halls on my end of the house, opening each door to find what room each door led to. Quickly, I found an old office, a desk, and in chairs sat by the far side as the large bookshelf of documents and memorabilia donned the nooks and crannies. There were a couple of pictures of me growing up peeking from the shelf as I walked further into the room. Have a good night. I don't believe I've been in here before. I tried to recall memories of ever seeing this room, coming up with nothing as a result. This room was new to me. Did I want to disturb the furniture? I'm curious. I gently opened the shelves and any drawers I saw in the room. In a couple of them, there were books and even sewing kits. I assumed they were used for my grandfather's toys, so I left them alone. One drawer, however, was locked, no matter how many times I pulled. Grr, come on, open! Nothing. It would not budge. The drawer beside it, though, did, revealing a laptop. Why is there a laptop in a drawer? I lifted it from the drawer and carried it over to the desk and chair, opening it. It was a high-tech laptop with a retina scanner as a pass lock. I was not sure whether or not to try to unlock it or not. Try. I decided to try. I turned on the computer and leaned my face near the retina scanner, lining the camera up with my eye. To my surprise, I heard a ping come from the computer before the screen opened to a desktop. Huh? Look at that. On the desktop were documents and folders labeled with different aspects of the Anderson Company. Taxes, profits, bylaws, products, blah, blah, blah. The list went on and on. If I really did want to become the CEO of Anderson Toys Company, I had everything about it at my fingertips. I would sure be impressed. One icon, however, stood out from the rest. Forago. I double-clicked the icon, but no window came up. Instead, I heard a large click come from the drawer that was locked. What the? I slowly left my seat and walked over to the drawer, attempting to open it again. It slid open smoothly in the direction of my pulling hand, revealing two books. One was a plain black journal with a tie to keep it closed. The other was bound in leather with cryptic symbols all over the cover. I took out the journal and skimmed through it, seeing my grandfather's notes. They were all detailed explanations and opinions on his findings on demonic magic. He really did know about magic. I sat down at the desk and read through the journal further, finding drawings and sketches of symbols and magic circles, each with their own different meanings and effects. It was all fascinating. There was even a page of important spells to know. I read through them, trying to memorize them into my mind. I don't know what came over me, but I started to feel more energetic and more powerful simply by reading my grandfather's notes. I was suddenly aware of the energy that surrounded my body and the power that was around the house. The more I read, the more powerful I became. However, my mind suddenly froze and I found myself walking back to the drawer, putting the book back and closing the drawer. The lock reset and I snapped out of it. Huh? What? I shook my head and looked at the drawer, realizing what I had done. I walked over to the desk to reopen the lock, but suddenly felt the need to stop. Something held me back and didn't want me to pry any more than I already had. I was curious beyond belief, but I obeyed my thoughts for now. Eventually, I would come back and look into it. I returned to bed, feeling the weight of the morning drag me under my covers to try and sleep again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday, and nothing was happening today. Come on, eyes, go back to sleep. I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone to check the time once again. It was noon, yet it felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? I sighed, got changed into normal clothes, and went out into the main hall and sat on the stairs. Sundays were very boring. Yes, she is, but what Otome MC isn't? Oh, any pronouns, by the way, lol, just remembered your question. Okay, wasn't sure. Thank you. Huh? I quickly went out to the backyard in response to the noise I heard. In the yard were the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the boys fighting. Bye. Make lunch. Might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked. Mine is me be. Oh my god, Mary! Lunch wasn't particularly hard. I decided to make chicken. Gotta keep up their energy and strength with some protein. I took my time to make almost perfect chicken breasts alongside some rice. Cooking wasn't hard unless you didn't know what you were doing in the first place. I placed the food in the dining room. However, none of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. I carried that dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating into different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go to one in particular. The other part of me wanted to just leave them be and take the food in my hands to my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys were focused on training. Bye. Address me with the royal we. I decided against bothering them. They knew where the food was, so I went to my room instead and ate alone in my room. It's not my problem. I turned on my computer and started to jam to the music as I ate my food. I need water. Remember to hydrate. Hydrate or dihydrate. As I ate, I began to think about going out. There were so many places to go. Things to do. She's complaining about her day being boring. In my experience, people usually regret thinking that. Truly. All right. It was Sunday, and I felt the need to see my grandfather. It had been 3 days since he had been buried, and the cemetery was only a short walk away. Or seriously, he, him. Okay, he, him. Got it. I decided to see him. I took my time eating and headed out to the street to walk towards the cemetery. It was a good half-hour walk. Jesus Christ, take a car! But it would be a nice stroll. A flower shop was on the way, so I picked up flowers for his grave. I still felt the sting of grief run through my bones, but I knew that it would eventually fade over time. I paused my journey to the cemetery to enter the flower shop, quickly picking a bouquet from the back display case and paying. Blah, 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 blah. How many times I washed? Oh gosh. The bouquet of lilies, please. Thank you. With flowers in hand, I made my way to the large steel gates of St. Joseph's Cemetery. I entered and felt the cold shiver of death run through the air against my skin. Would it always be like this? The cemetery was a final resting place. It wasn't just for mourning or sadness. It was supposed to also be a place for remembrance. I sighed as I walked through the cemetery towards my grandfather's grave. Before I could reach it, though, I noticed a figure standing by the slab. Huh? Who is that? I stopped walking and tried to focus my sight to see who was standing at my grandfather's grave before I approached. I didn't want to interrupt a prayer or anything, but even more, I wanted to know who exactly was there. My mind barely considered the idea that it was my father, but it couldn't have been him. Familiar brown hair crowned this person's head instead of the black and gray my father had. He was vaguely familiar. Andrew? It was indeed Andrew. He was dressed in casual clothes, but he was giving his respects to my grandfather. I was curious as to why. I quietly stepped closer and approached Andrew in the grave, being careful not to scare Andrew. At my footsteps, Andrew turned to see me, and realizing it was me, turned fully to me.
Oh, Miss Anderson. I'm sorry.
Andrew quickly shook his head and took a step to leave. You're fine. I stopped him with a hand and smiled. He was merely paying his respects. There was no need for me to intrude. Andrew stared at me before smiling and nodding, returning to his place in front of the grave. He took a side step to make room for me, so I stepped next to him. I looked at the grave, running my gaze. Oh my gosh, English, please. Hello? Hi! Welcome! running my gaze through the engraving in the stone slab before gently laying my bouquet down by it. However, I didn't stand back. I gently sat down on the grass in front of the grave and stared at it.
Lilies?
Common flowers for gravestones, yeah? My grandfather didn't have a favorite flower. I heard and felt Andrew gently crouch down and sit beside me. I turned my head to look at him, catching him nodding in acknowledgement at my statement. I turned back to the grave, letting out a small sigh. So, can I ask why you came here?
I came to pay my respects. He was someone I really idolized.
I turned my head to him again, confused. Idolized?
Mm-hmm. He inspired me to work hard and make people happy. When I interned for his company, he was the first person to greet me at the doors with open arms.
Aww.
Even before my father.
Hey, thank you! I almost couldn't believe what I was hearing. However, the look in Andrew's eyes made my heart break. He truly idolized my grandfather, like he was his own grandfather.
Your grandfather was an amazing man, but I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. He treated me better than my dad ever could. All my dad cares about is me becoming the CEO. But Harold Anderson? No.
He was a great guy. I could practically feel my lips move in sync with Andrew's as he continued to speak, almost hearing my grandfather speak alongside him in the air.
He said, "Don't worry about it so much. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy instead."
He said that to me, too. Andrew turned to me in surprise before smiling.
Really? He cared a lot about you. There were days that he wouldn't stop talking about you and compared you to me.
Why didn't you declare your dad then, +1? Respectful, hot young man. I felt a blush run across my face. What things did he say?
Well, he told me how cute you were and how you love to make people happy. He also said you always had the perfect ideas for his toys.
Gramps trying to set me up with someone so quickly. Oh my gosh. I felt a smile grow on my face, remembering the small moments when I had helped him design his now most popular toy, the glowing heart bear. I didn't realize how proud of me he was because I was so small. But now that I was older, I was able to understand. He always had me help him, even when I didn't feel like I could. He was the greatest person ever in my life. He treated me better than my dad.
How does your dad treat you?
Oh my gosh. He's pretty harsh to me. He wants me to be the CEO of the company as well, since it's technically a family business.
He's strict, like my dad. Well, if it ever came to a time where the board had to decide a CEO, I'd gladly give it up for you.
That sounds like a pickup line, sir. Grandpa was planning the whole time, Sin Count 2. I couldn't help but raise an eyebrow. Didn't he want the position? Why? Don't you want to be CEO? To my surprise, Andrew shook his head with a goofy smile.
I don't. My dad wants me to take over the Anderson company, but I really am not sure if I want to or not. Sure, making toys is great and helping people is something I want to do, but I don't know if I want to head the company.
You're not sure what you want to do. Just like me.
You don't want to be a CEO either?
I shook my head. Andrew let out a small laugh.
Man, we must be the worst kids on the planet. Our dads want us to take over a company, but we don't even want to. Imagine what would happen if they actually liked each other.
Oh God, we'd be fucked. I couldn't help but laugh with him. We were in the same boat. A kayak, you could say. I'm kidding. Yet we were on opposite sides. It was like Romeo versus Juliet, two families competing for one goal, but the competitors didn't want to even try to reach the goal. Andrew gently stopped laughing and smiled at me.
Your grandfather was right about one thing, though. You are really cute.
Give me a minute. I'm processing this. Very subtle. I want a full tally of that of the sin count after this. I want a full tally by the end of stream. I want a full tally. Oh my gosh. Sorry, people are bothering me. People were bothering me. The blush that had the blush that had faded from my face suddenly returned at his words. I looked away from him, making him laugh again.
Sorry, it's true. Cross my heart.
Damn, how is he this good? He's smooth. He is a smooth criminal. Nobody, that's calling me cute. Thanks. He was flattering me. I had to admit, he was cute too. But I had only known him for a short while. It wasn't realistic to like him more than that. Andrew cleared his throat and sat up straight, rubbing the back of his neck.
I'll let you have some time with your grandfather. I don't have anywhere to be, so I'll wait by the gates and give you a ride home when you're done.
Thank you. It was very sweet of him to wait for me, so I accepted his ride home. Andrew smiled before heading back to the gates. I remained with my grandfather. I'm sure you're laughing where you are, Grandpa. I practically glared at the grave, but after a brief second, I smiled. He's a sweet guy, and he's a big fan of yours. Who wouldn't be? You cared for everyone, no matter who they were. I gently ran a finger over one of the lilies in the bouquet. It was soft to the touch, but my mind was filled with Andrew for some reason. Was this grandfather's plan? Did he hope for me to meet Andrew as a kindred spirit? I wouldn't be surprised. I chuckled softly before standing. I'll be fine, Grandpa. Andrew's a good guy, but who knows? I shrugged before letting out a sigh and turning back to the cemetery gate, where Andrew awaited me. Andrew led me into his car and drove me home. I went to my room and remained there until dinner. And the remainder of the night, blah, blah, blah. Yes, yes, blah, 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 blah. Yes, yes, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, da, 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 skip. Glare into her soul. I glared hard, blah, blah, blah. There she is. Moving on. Okay. Fight. No way was this happening. No way was I going to let myself be a victim of this. I gotta remember what was in that book.
What are you whimpering? Are you praying that the boys will come and save you?
Oh my god. Malix's voice actor had too much fun. I kept rumbling, trying to remember, and shut my eyes, studying for a brief... Yeah, okay, I've read this before. I'm sorry, I'm skipping over this. Hi, Grandpa. Sup. Sup, Gramps. Okay, and bye. Okay, yep, we're at the part, blah, 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 yeah, okay, do I count the player's sins? No, just the game sins, because I make too many. Give them up. My mind began to wander. The memories were, no, they weren't.
I'm sorry.
All right, bye. Stretched out, blah, 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 yada, yada, moving on. I scooped up my bag and headed downstairs to the room, blah, 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 empty. I needed to eat something. I looked at my phone and saw a text I had completely forgotten about.
Hey, I know you have school today, but do you want to hang out after?
Oh, Once more, I'm being bothered. Gosh damn it, can I not be bothered today? You tell people one thing and they never listen. I couldn't help a small smile from growing on my face. Andrew was sweet and seemed like a good guy. I remembered how he gave me his number as he dropped me off at home. Wow, motherfucker be slick! This man be slick! My goodness. Man's got riz. Man's got that riz. Dropped me off visit my grandfather's from my visit to my grandfather's grave, making my small smile bigger. I chuckled and texted back. Sure. Andrew's only 17. Only 17 already. Truly. I made myself some quick toast and coffee, needing a jump start. I felt drained and I did not want to fall asleep in class. Something bothered me, though. My house felt empty, or at least emptier than it when I came for some reason. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it slightly bothered me. I finished my food and quickly rushed to the front, waiting for Naomi's car and confident that nothing was going to happen. Nobody can compare Andrew to, not even the incubi. Nobody can change. He got that W riz that the incubi boys just never had. Oof. Take that, incubi boys. You ain't got no riz against Andrew. Chat is absolute on that. I avoided talking about what had happened yesterday. I'll be riding with you guys from now on, and from now on to and from school. As we entered, we quickly gathered our things from lockers, headed to class, and we blah blah blah. No surprise. Naomi and Suzu took their respective seats around me, Suzu in front of me, Naomi beside me, before the class bell rang and the class was greeted by our teacher. History wasn't as boring as economics, but I still managed to space out in class just the same. I decided to keep my eyes to my notebook. I began to scribble random doodles, some which stuck out to me more than others. MC got main character stupidity +1. I had somehow managed to doodle a small bear with a heart on its stomach. I cracked a small smile at the image, imagining the heart lighting up on my paper as I pressed the eraser of my pencil on it. I remembered what had happened last week, slowly frowning at the memories of my grandfather. I guess it was still hard to let him go. To lose someone is never easy, but I knew that moping and letting his memory get to me wouldn't do any good. I felt, though, that he was watching over me, as stupid as that may sound. I felt that I was somehow safe. Like it was okay to not focus on school or my future and just live in my own little world. I could be a little girl and draw pictures instead of plan out the rest of my life and be perfectly happy. Sadly, I knew that wasn't realistic. Graduation was slowly coming up and my mind had wandered into the future once again. What was I going to do? It was hard to think about. At this rate, I just wanted to wing it. No decisions had to be made ahead of time in my little world. No disappointments would come out of whatever I decided to do in my little world. Hell, maybe I could have found a perfect magical love in my little world and life would just turn out like a dream. It was sad to think that my world wasn't real, yet my heart still wished that it was. It gently squeezed inside my chest, almost convincing me that magic could be real. My mind knew better. I let out a small sigh, letting my little world hide in my thoughts as the class bell rang. Naomi and Suzu smiled at me, making me feel a little better. At least, I still had my friends. I quickly gathered my things and left to my next class. Throughout the day, I found myself wondering about my future. What was I going to do? How was I going to do it? Everything. The MC being a little realistic, I removed 2 sins. Then, Andrew came to mind. He and I were in the same position. We both were in line to take the CEO position, but neither of us wanted it. It was adorable to think about. A strange Romeo and Juliet.
Hey, are you listening?
No, I was not. What did you say? I broke out of my thoughts, finding myself in the hall with my things, ready to head home.
Dude, you've been spacing out all day. Are you okay?
I missed that. Am I having your own sin? It's nothing. As I expected, Naomi and Suzu gave me disappointed looks.
What's going on, Anderson?
We're just worried about you.
It's nothing, really. Before I could continue, I heard Lucettes' gaggle of girls giggling nearby. I prepared myself, ready to fight Lucette or deal with another attack from her girl army, before turning to the sound. I felt my face go red at the sight. Andrew was standing in the hall, smiling at me. The girls around him seemed flirtatious, but he only kept his eyes on me. It wasn't like he was holding flowers, but his older looks made him... Hey, Jess. I don't think stream can see that, but that was one of my friends just started playing a game. That's funny. Have fun. But where was I? It wasn't like he was holding flowers, but his older looks made him the cutie of the school hall. I will be honest, he was much more handsome than any guy in the school. Andrew, hi.
Hey, I was waiting outside for you, but I needed to use the restroom. I hope you don't mind me coming into your school for that, right?
Oh,
hey,
sorry.
I was waiting outside for you, but I needed to use the restroom. I hope you don't mind me coming into your school for that, right?
You guys can have that debate in chat. Not at all. Andrew smiled at me before gesturing to my friends, who both practically had their jaws hitting the floor.
And who are your friends?
Oh, this is Naomi and Suzu.
Pleasure.
Yo.
Yo. They looked at me, giving me their silent friendship. Oh my god, who is this hot guy and how do you know him? Look. Yeah, that very specific look. We all have those friends. I glared for half a second at each of them before smiling to Andrew. So, you came to pick me up?
Yeah, I figured I could drive you from school to wherever, you know? Save some time and stuff. Unless you don't wanna.
No, it's cool. Just give me a couple seconds, all right?
For sure. I'll be outside.
Andrew smiled and gave a 2-finger salute to me before heading out of the hall. The girls, like the gaggle of morons, followed. As I looked at Naomi and Suzu, they glared at me. What?
How do you know that guy? When did you two meet? You've been hogging guys to yourself.
Shut up! Bro, you know what? How does Anderson get all this riz? It's not like that, okay? We met at the house party, my mom introduced us, and, well, he's kind of nice. Naomi and Suzu raised their eyebrows at me in almost perfect sync. I sighed. Look, we're just friends, and he wanted to hang out, so I said yes. Okay, it's just for today. It's nothing, really.
Whatever you say. Just remember to use rubber.
Suzu! Suzu! Oh my god. Suzu. Suzu, you vile creature. How dare. Sin count 22. Suzu. No. Boggs. Damn, Grandpa knows. God damn it. You guys! Before I could defend myself, Lucette strutted up to me, crossing her arms.
So, who was that? A college boy?
Back off, Lisette. I'm really not in the mood to hear your voice right now, and neither is Anderson.
Why do we need rubber? Oh, God. Nope. No.
I just wanted to know. Can a girl be curious?
Be curious, but don't pry.
I could feel something go sour. Something wasn't right. Why was Lucette approaching us? She wasn't the type to talk to us freely. I looked around to see a small gaggle of girls gather, glaring at my friends and me, and ready to pounce. I also noticed that Suzu, Naomi, and I were cornered. What do you want, Lucette?
Well, Anderson, I'm getting a little tired of this game. For years now, we've been at each other's throats.
No, you've been at my throat.
Excuse me?
Shut it, Capini. The point is, let's let go of the past, shall we? We're both different people, and we're gonna graduate soon. I don't want to graduate with bad blood between us.
Almost like a cliche chick flick, Lucette held out her hand to me with a smile. It's your characters. Was she joking? After all we had been through, she plotted her girls to tease us. Yep, to make us miserable. She was the mastermind behind any operations against me. Years of her trying to undermine me because we both were top of our classes and she wanted to shake hands. This wasn't like her at all. I rushed my gaze over her, trying to see what was different. Was she just tricking me? Was she being held in some kind of knife point? My eyes landed on a small purple pencil sticking out of her pocket. For some reason, it caught my eye. I knew something was up with it, but it was just a pencil. What could be up with a pencil?
Hello?
I snapped out of my trance and looked up at Lucette, who was glaring at me.
Are you going to shake my hand, or what?
What are we feeling, chat? What's the plot here? Do we want to shake hands or do we say fuck you? What shall it be? I need water while I wait. What shall it be? The choice is yours, chat. This may be a mistake, but we'll find out. I'm pretty sure this doesn't affect. Slap, please. Let me double check that this doesn't affect. Guide. Okay, 1 second. Andrew. It doesn't matter. Not at all. Doesn't matter. All right. It doesn't matter. All right. Slap. All right. We're slapping hands. Get away from me. There was no way I was going to forgive her so easily. No, Lucette. You've been a bitch to me ever since we were young. You've been underhanded, and you've gathered a little girl gang to harass me and my friends ever since middle school. What makes you think I will shake your hand? Lisette glared at me, rubbing the hand I had slapped.
Listen, Anderson, I did all that to give you tough skin. Look at you now, standing up for yourself.
You think bullying me justifies that? My yelling caused Lucette, her gaggle of girls, and my friends to step away from me. Bullying me may have given me tough skin, but it also gave me scrapes and hard times in places I'm supposed to be learning. You were seduced with the idea of making yourself the most powerful girl in school, and the only ones holding you back from that were me and my friends because we didn't bow down to you and kiss your feet. But mostly, you hated how I worked my ass off to get good grades and wanted me to topple over so I could cry and give up for your sick entertainment. I wanted to hit her. I wanted to. After all the times she hurt me, she deserved to be on the floor. But I had a date to catch. I walked over and glared into Lucettes' face, almost nose to nose with her. You're a bully and you'll always be one. I'm not going to shake your hand just because you want to forget that. And with that, I left the stunned Lucette. My friends, equally pissed, followed right behind me. Sin count 18. You moved 5 sins for that. Gotcha. Nice. I continued down the hall with Naomi and Suzu right behind me.
So, what about this guy? You're going on a date?
It's just hanging out.
So, we can come with, right?
No.
No way, Suzu. You have to babysit Francesca, and I have to go to a college interview.
I turned and smiled at my friends. Trust me, it'll be fine. It's just hanging out. I'll text you both when I get home. Like a pair of adorable parents, Naomi and Suzu nodded before heading out, leaving me to head after Andrew. I smiled to see him leaned against his car waiting. He seemed all right, and luckily, he wasn't surrounded by girls. Andrew smiled and waved me over. I rushed over and smiled back. Hi.
Hi.
Like a gentleman, Andrew opened my door for me, gesturing me inside. I stepped inside and sat down before he closed the door and circled to get into the driver's seat. We pulled out of the parking lot and began to drive. To where? I don't know. But I trusted Andrew to stay local since it was just hanging out.
Look, I know this seems weird, me picking you up and stuff, but I promise you'll love where we're going.
Okay. We're going about. I'll go a little farther and then we'll end stream. How much? Actually, hold on. We've gotten through most of it. You know what? I'm actually gonna wrap here. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I want one more stream with him. Sue me. But we're gonna wrap it up here. Keep that count. Keep that count for next time. Hold on 1 second. All right. What a perfect place to end stream for today. Am I being sneaky? Yes. Is there a reason? Yes. I made another thumbnail and I want to use it. But yeah, I don't care, Prophet. I have another thumbnail I want to use and I'm going to use it. So yeah, that's where I'm going to finish off today. Also because people are annoying me and I have to go figure out what the hell they want from me. So that's where we're going to end stream for today. Thank you all, little stars, for coming out. And thank you to the beautiful people who joined my channel and helped me reach this amazing milestone. All right, with that is all I have for you tonight, little stars. So I shall see you all another night. Until then, keep shining.